Hello, 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 my beautiful empresses. Welcome back to Embody Your Empress. I'm Sarah King, the founder of this amazing podcast and founder of Empress Nation. This is the place you want to be. If you are looking for something a little bit more out there, if you're having the inkling that you are looking and there is more and you can't quite see it, or you want to open up to that deeper understanding of who you are on all levels. We have another amazing guest for you today, which I'm very excited to introduce in a moment. But before I do, just a reminder, there are so many episodes of Embody Your Empress that will light you up. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, go back and take a listen, and make sure you leave all your favorite takeaways for us to go and read in the comments. Today's special guest is something I have to admit, I don't know what it is, what she does. So I'm excited to be learning on this journey with everyone today. Today, Lane Kennedy is here to share with us what a functional DNA nutritionist does and also her all encompassing work, because we know everything is holistic, as a mindfulness teacher, as a contributor to this world, and someone who lifts everyone up. Lane, welcome to Embody Your Empress.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's good to be here.
Great. And like I said, I'm very excited to learn a lot today. But can we start with who you are? Well, I guess the most important question, who you are as a human, as a soul, and how you came to be on this journey.
Who I am as a human and a soul. That's a
No
great opening question.
whole question by any feat, right?
so, who I am as a human, uh, you know, well, first off, I live in San Francisco in the States. So I'm the other side of the world of you. I love Australia. I have been there a couple of times, and I remember one time being there, walking around my bikini, thinking, like walking around on the streets, like going to a cafe in my bikini, thinking, I'm walking around in my bikini. I would never do this at home. But it was so, I was just felt so inside my body and so at peace that it was a natural place. And I thought, I've got to get back here. This is like a home for me. So I love that you're over there. And
That's very normal here.
yeah, I can't wait to come back. Hometown. I was born and raised here. I am a mom of a 16-year-old kiddo who is just an incredible soul. I have two Irish wolfhounds, and this is I don't know, I try to leave San Francisco and I always come back, so I feel like there's an anchor here for me. And I don't know what that is yet, but it's here. Um, so all that to say, when I had my son 16 years ago, I was already in the high performance space. I was already biohacking. I was already a bulletproof coach. I was already doing all these things. And when he came, when he appeared, it was kind of on accident because the doctors had told me that I would never be able to conceive a child. And so when you have that kind of weight on you, and then suddenly you are pregnant, you find yourself pregnant. You're like, wait, what? What's going on? And so that's when merge. The DNA companies here in the Bay Area were starting to surface, and I invested in a DNA company and I got really involved with it. And I started learning about deoxyribonucleic acid and all that it entails. And so over the years, I've been kind of immersed in nutrition and DNA and kind of, discovering, exploring the bodies of the pathway, um, understanding why, if you find yourself at the refrigerator at 10 o'clock every night, like, why do you crave ice cream every night? Why are you moody? Like these were my questions that I had. And so I was able to look at my DNA and start to uncover the reasons and the complexities of my humanness. And that, kind of has been an anchor for me recently, last May of 2025, I found myself in the ER, and I was like, why? I'm not doing well. I was shaking uncontrollably. I couldn't regulate my nervous system. And all on the outside, everything looked good. But on the inside, I broke my nervous system. And this is not to be lost on me either, because I'm a mindfulness and meditation teacher, right? So here I am thinking, what is happening? What is going on? I don't understand this. And, for the past 10 months, I have gone further down, uh, investigating, what is this autonomic nervous system? What is dysautonomia? What is, what does it mean to be unregulated? And how do we fix it? Like that's the $1 million question, because I don't know about you, Sarah, but people are over there. It's a little more chill. Over here on stateside, it's we're crazy over here. We are just like go 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 go. We don't take breaks, and so there's a lot of disruption I'm seeing uh, in all different walks of life with people. And so my passion, my joy, my mission is to really say, take 1 hour of your day and make it about you. That's it. Just 1 hour. Just 1 hour. Let's see if you can not use your phone for 1 hour, not do anything for 1 hour, and just make that hour about you. And people really struggle with that. So it's been quite a journey. It's something that I'm really passionate about, something that I truly believe that if we don't start to change now, we're in we're in trouble. We're in trouble as a humanity, not like this one person or a group of people, but humanity in general. I know that's a big, bold statement, but I am, because of the experience that I have and the work that I do, I just see it everywhere. Yeah.
Mhm.
Did I answer your question?
I feel like we need to hear that big bold statement because we keep doing the same thing, the
Yeah.
same thing, the same thing. And even when we have an awareness that, hey, something's not quite right, we keep doing the same thing and we're burning ourselves out. Is
Yeah.
that a word that you would use? Would you use burnout in
Yeah.
your,
That is, well, that's a word that people understand.
yeah.
They associate it. And typically, what they'll associate with burnout is like overworking,
Mm,
right? So that's why I look at unregulated or dysregulated, because that is a little, mm, it's like that's what's happening. Like your system is becoming destabilized, where burnout feels broken. Like I don't know. It's just like it's like fried. I see electrical wires, in my mind.
there's something wrong with me. I'm burnt out.
Yeah,
Bring
yeah. But that's it. I mean, and again, it spans all walks of life, all ages. I
mm,
see it with the kids that I work with teenagers, I work with first responders, I work with, you know,
mm.
boomers, I work with millennials, like I work with all generations. So it's it's everywhere.
Man, I could only imagine, and I've actually had this conversation with my partner, like to be a first responder, to work in emergency services with what they see, not
Yeah.
even just on a daily basis, but like minute by minute.
Yeah.
It blows my mind how, like, I don't even know how you would put in a protocol for maintaining like a genuine nervous system regulation.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough. I ask them to start with 1 minute.
Okay.
And I tell them, it's really easy because nobody's going to bother you in the bathroom. So that's where you start.
Ooh, that's a
Yeah.
that's a really good that's a great tip for new mums as well,
Yes, it
because
is.
often that is very constant
Yeah.
pressure on the
Hmm.
system for that
Hmm.
1 minute bathroom. Lock the door.
Yeah. Yeah. Lock it.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. So you mentioned as an example, craving ice cream at night and
Mm,
finding out why.
yeah.
So why would I be craving ice cream at night and how do I I go about that journey and discovering like that
Yeah.
what's happening.
So our DNA, I wish these are the things that I wish that we were taught in grade school. I wish we
Tell
were
them.
taught I wish that we were taught that we have DNA and it's the blueprint of who we are. And that's not going to change. It's just who we are. And so it can represent itself a little bit differently by the way that you think, the way that you eat, who you hang out with, um, how you move your body. But the blueprint is the blueprint. It is what it is. And so in that blueprint, you have all these different SNPs or single nucleotide polymorphisms. And these SNPs, these genes, they represent different ideas. We'll put them in this bucket of ideas. So this gene that I'm specifically talking about around eating late at night or being hungry, we have a gene called the clock gene. And it also works on the circadian rhythm. But typically, what will happen is that this is the gene that will trigger somebody to go to the refrigerator and eat at nighttime because your rhythm is off. Or it's not off, it's different, is what it is. And so, you know, wouldn't that be good to know that you have that gene instead of beating yourself up constantly and having shame spirals because there you are again. But instead, if you knew that you had that gene and it represented and it was high impact, then you could start to make different choices. You could put jicama in the refrigerator, right? You could put celery sticks, right? You could make different choices instead of going to that refrigerator and saying, well, it's nighttime. It's my dessert time. I've eaten everything else. And now I'm reaching for the ice cream. Like, no, you don't have to. You could do it differently.
Okay. So I guess what I'm hearing is when we actually know the building blocks of our body, we can set ourselves up for a success, knowing how
Yes.
we naturally function rather than the way that society's kind of conditioned us to behave at certain trigger points. And it doesn't always work for us.
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, as a DNA nutritionist, I can only assume, and please correct me if I'm wrong, your first point would be to find out what those building blocks are for that individual.
Yes. Yeah,
Right.
we had to start there because a lot of times what somebody will do is they'll be on their health journey, right? They want to feel better, they want to look better, they want to live their best life, they want to live um, into their 80s, into their 90s. They don't want to have anything go sideways when they're elderly. And so what starts happening, and I see this all the time, is they start listening to these influencers and they start buying these supplements and they spend a lot of money on these supplements. But these supplements don't always work for you and your genetic profile. So you're wasting a lot of money. I've had so many clients, so many people come to me and say, yeah, I bought this and it doesn't work. It just, I never felt anything from it. And meanwhile, it was $130, for a bottle of something. And it's like, well, that's too bad because you could have just got your DNA for $299. You could have hired me. You could have figured it out and not did that. So now I just say, just get your blueprint so you can make some educated decisions. And again, the blueprint is not going to lie. You only have to get it done once.
That, I mean, that's so
You're
refreshing.
you're like, oh, I can see your head. Good
Like,
question.
that's, like just the fact that that's so refreshing to
Mm,
have a healthcare tool that you
yeah,
only have to get done once and it's not
yeah,
an ongoing
no,
cost money making machine. Oh, we'll help you if you fill in this prescription every month and we'll change how much medication is or whatever. Just the fact that we are looking at you as an individual. This is the one tool that you have unique to you, never going to change. If you have an understanding of that, you can make the choices that will change your life.
right.
That seems too
Yeah.
simple, Lane.
I I know but that's where it's at. And you know, I always tell I'm a huge advocate for getting it done for parents, for kids, right? Because then they can just kind of monitor. Like I just had a client, he got it done for his son and daughter. And his daughter, you know, her BMI is a little high, you know, I'll say that. And, you know, he said, well, what do I do? And I said, you don't do anything. You love her is what you do. But here's what's going to happen when she gets a little bit older. Here are the things that you need to let her know that her estrogen is going to go dominant, which means this, right? And then later down the line, she may face infertility issues because of this, right? So it gives you that information where if you do have a child and you can set them up, you can start giving them nutrition that's going to support them as they age. And when they're, you know, going into those 18, 19, 20, or, you know, those years when they're just all bets are off, but
Mm.
you can kind of, you know, set them up for success, so to speak.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That seems like such a gift to be able to do for your child, like
Yes.
actually tailor how you are raising them. Because we all have that programming, like how we eat, the choices we make. Me reaching for the ice cream, that started when I was, 8
Yeah.
or 9, and my dad was left in charge of me after school, and he wasn't that present, so
Mm-hmm.
I would go
Mm-hmm.
to the freezer and I would just, like, help myself to the ice cream because I was hungry
Yeah.
after school, and then
Yeah.
that followed me into adulthood, and that became it's funny you mentioned that because that became my emotional response. If anything was upsetting my nervous system,
Yeah.
where's the ice cream? That is my soothing tool. Up until, like,
Yeah.
recently, a few months ago, I'm like, "Right, let's
Yeah.
work on the nervous system
Yeah.
and chill it out a bit."
Yeah.
So fascinating.
And I'll also see in the blueprint somebody's nervous system, so how they respond to stress, you know, how they can manage it a little bit better. And so that comes into the protocol that we build for them. And here's the thing: is like the issues that you deal in your 20s are very different than what you're dealing in your 40s, right?
Mm,
Like, so you can start to change and shift things as you age with it.
yeah. Or I'm just thinking my life in my 20s.
Yeah.
The
Right.
challenges are completely different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It looked
Yeah.
like many, many mounds sort of as opposed to the 40s
Right.
then, and you're like, "Wow, okay, life." Fascinating. Okay. So, do you combine with your protocols, you bring in your mindfulness and your
Oh,
meditation expertise within that as well?
1,000%. Because now I really truly see stress being the number one cause of all disease. I
Mm,
just, you know, we have a genetic propensity for how we're going to relate to stress, how we are going to detoxificate those stress hormones. And so, like, if you understand that, then you can start to understand your nervous system. And so, I am pro, you know, make sure that you are spending 5 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the morning, another 10 minutes here, right? An hour a day is my goal for people. I don't care if it's all at once or if it's 10 minutes at a time, but truly that hour is going to start downshifting your nervous system, which supports your genetic profile, right? So the way that you express yourself, the way that your body expresses itself. So, nervous system regulation, mindfulness, meditation, quieting, all of it, centering, all of it is a part of the work that I do.
mm, amazing. I love that you can piece together the minutes of the day.
Yeah.
Some people an hours seems overwhelming, and the walls come up. I can't do it already an
Right.
hour out of 24. But when you break
Right.
it down to 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and add it up, that
Hmm.
is so achievable. And if you look at all the pockets of the day, like when you
Right.
wake up, when you drop the kids off at school, you've got
Mm-hmm.
10 minutes to sit in the car before you get to work. You've got a lunch
Mm-hmm.
break. You've got the between dinner and everyone's having a shower time. There are moments of the day that you can claim and like,
Yes.
this is my time. And I love that. I do that in the morning. I make a coffee. I sit in bed. I put on a little meditation. I know that's not the best
Right.
combination, but it works for me. Like, it's like it works for me. So,
And
and
that is the thing. That's critical right there. What you said, it works for you.
it works for me.
Yeah.
And my kids know. They're like, okay, she's got the music on. The door's
Uh-huh.
open. They can come in. I'm always like, if you want to join me, you can. They're normally just
Yeah.
waking up and getting their
Mhm.
thoughts together for the day as well, because we get up so much earlier than what we need to leave the house for. So I like to think, one day they might like to come and join me, and then they can see from there. And I'm very open with what I do with my own practices with my children. Like, if I've got my tuning forks out, they are free to come and use them. Or, if I have instruments around, they can come and use them. Like, I don't keep them separated from the things that make me feel good, because I
Yeah.
know it will make them feel good too.
So,
Yeah.
so important, I think, to share the practice that you do.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And it's very interesting. You mentioned earlier about there may be a difference between the science of the world and how we have our systems activated and regulated. And what came to me was, I know here in Australia we get really good sort of holiday leave from
Mm.
our workplaces. And having traveled to the States, where people are like, what? You get 4 weeks annual leave? And they're like, we're lucky if we get one.
Yeah.
And just knowing how much in a repetitive routine where we are go, 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 especially in like careers that require a lot, that demand a lot, to know that we have allocated time frames where we can switch off from that particular part of our life, that we can take down time, where we can travel if we want, where we can go on retreats and we can reset nervous systems, and that we can just relax,
Mhm.
is so beneficial. And I'm curious, living in a part of the world that doesn't emphasize that as much, how do you bridge that gap?
It's a huge challenge. It's
Yeah.
it's really, really difficult. Uh, I know many people that don't take vacations, right? I know
Ever?
many that they'll just lapse, right? That instead of getting
Oh,
2 weeks, they'll take 1 week, and
oh.
then the next year they accrue, right? So then it's 3 weeks they have, and then that next year they'll take 2 weeks, and then they still accrue. So then right, and it's where they want to be, so they're chasing something. I
Oh.
think a a lot of people do that.
Elaine, can we just go back to where you were talking about it accruing? The audio just cut out for a moment there.
Are you there? Yeah.
Yeah, can we go back to where you were just saying that time was accruing, because the audio just cut out?
So I think what happens is that, people don't go on vacation, they accrue time, and that attributes to this burnout process. And what I try to tell them and what I try to teach is like, I have sessions where I just say, let's just take this hour and practice. And once they start to practice, they start to really feel the shift from, either lying their body down with me for an hour, not next, like in class, that sounded funny, but um,
And the thing somewhere.
once they start to understand like what's happening, or once they feel it, once they experience, they start to think, oh, okay, I'm going to come back next week. And then after this 8 weeks, and then they do another session with me, they start to realize the importance, because I'm constantly bringing up this importance of evaluating what they're chasing, right? What is it that you don't have? Because you have a lot. And are you on purpose? Are you living on purpose? And so over this time period that I spend with my students, there's a lot of awakenings. There's a lot of job changing. There's a lot of there is family vacation planning happening. Um, there is a shift of awareness that occurs, and it doesn't happen after one or two classes. I mean, this is after, I would say, after a good three series with me. That's typically they'll start to have this aha moment. I recently had a student close her company. She's a big tech person. She's like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And I'm so thrilled for her. And now she's excited. She's like, I'm going to go back to do this. I'm going to get involved with this industry. I'm not, like, completely transformed her life. And now she feels like she's living on purpose, which, that's where we want to go.
That's where we want to be, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish we talked like that with our children, like with our kids at high school, when it's like, what are you going to do for the next 20 years? How
Yeah.
about you follow your purpose, follow your passion, see where that takes you in life, rather than trying to nail into a teeny tiny little box and, oh, don't you dare feel like you step outside that career for the rest of your life.
Right. Right.
Because we get to this age, and I was in my late 30s, and I'm like, I'm burning it all to the ground. This is not who I am meant to be. This is not what I'm here
Right.
to do in life. This is not what
Yeah.
I'm not serving anyone here.
Right. Right.
And then to be able to step forward and be like, okay, and ask the question, like I started at the beginning, what lights me up? What could my passion be? Like, I had put on the blockers for so long that it took undoing
Mm-hmm.
to bring it in, to let it start to unfold in a way that didn't freak me out and make me panic and go back to the safety and security of what I've known in life forever. Having a purpose and having passion that we live by is so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And I was having a conversation just 2 days ago with someone who was deciding whether to stay in one job or to go to another. And I'm like, I I can see clearly now you don't feel purpose or passion calling you forward. And they were like, oh, yeah, maybe it's not this job or that job. Maybe it might be something completely different. And I'm like, it might be if you open up to the possibility of playing with the idea, you never know where that's going to lead you to,
Right.
which is very cool. And when we have the capacity of having a nervous system that feels safe and supported,
Mm-hmm.
we can play with those ideas and those concepts in life.
Mm-hmm. And when we find that stillness, we can start to listen, right? And that's where we get those moments of, oh, wait, maybe I should be doing this. Or maybe I need to talk to that person. Or maybe I need to sell my house. Like, we can't hear those ideas unless we're quiet, unless we're still.
Mm.
Otherwise, we're living the same day every day. The email's different, but it really, like, it's the same. It's the same
Is
stuff
it
every
though?
day.
I feel like I get the same emails all the time, and I'm like, spam
Right.
all the
Yeah.
time. Wow,
Mm-hmm.
that is incredible. And underpinning this whole conversation, I just keep coming back to it's understanding who we are
Yeah.
at the most biological level. It makes me question our society, why this is not the normal practice, why we don't have the curiosity to find out who we are much earlier along the track
Yeah.
before everything seems to be
Yeah.
breaking down, for lack of a better term, to find out who we are and to actually build ourselves the life that supports
Yeah.
us.
I do have hope around the younger generations. I do. I see they're different. It's so crazy to say they're different. I just watch my son, and I watch, I have different nieces, and the way that they operate online, the way that they move through the world, it's not sustainable, right?
Mm.
Like I know that my generation wasn't sustainable. So I see theirs as not sustainable. So rec- they're already recognizing that I want to live differently. So I have a little.
Can you hear me, Lane?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. That was really bizarre. It it froze on the audio and then it like super sped you up, like your visual.
Oh,
That is crazy. Um, can you just say from you have hope for them?
well, the whole thing again.
No, I got most of it. It was just like,
I feel like because right now, the past 10 years, the kids that have been online, they're recognizing that they don't want to be online. They're recognizing that it's too much. You know, they're recognizing that they don't want to drink alcohol. They're like, they want to live differently. And so I do feel like there's some hope for humanity and like overall. I'm just, whatever I can do to support them is what I want to be doing.
yeah, I love this. I don't know if San Fran is having this movement as well, but here in Australia, especially down on the Gold Coast, um, instead of like going out drinking the clubbing scene, which typical for
Yeah.
the young 20-year-olds, now it's like early morning bakery DJ set where you've got your silent headphones on and everyone's like at cafes
Oh,
or bakeries and they are having their dance party, which I love because who doesn't love somatic movement?
yeah.
But they're doing it without the alcohol. And
Yeah.
we mentioned earlier before we started recording, like here, generally everyone gets up pretty early. So we're
Yeah.
doing it at dawn where everyone's
Yeah.
awake and fresh, and we're starting the day with movement and connection and lifting up our frequencies. And we're doing it without polluting our body with things like alcohol
Right.
and being in those environments which generally tend to get unsafe for women. We're doing it in a safe, healthy way where we're still building community and getting out there and being social and interactive. And it's really cool, like this wave of, 20 and 30-year-olds, like choosing differently,
Yeah.
still having fun, still making
Yes.
themselves the priority. It's really heart opening and
Yeah, it's cool. It's
mm,
really cool. We don't have the DJ thing in the morning yet. That I can't wait for that to get here because I will participate. Uh, but I do see a trend for sure.
mm, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super
Mm.
fun when you see it. Bring it out there, like
Yeah. I'll take a picture for and send it to you.
oh, I love it. Mate, I have learned so much today. There is like the food for thought that you've given me about just even how we are operating as a
Yeah.
whole. It's very humbling. It's very
It
humbling.
is.
And it's like you've cracked the secret code, yet we've all had the secret code
Yeah.
within us.
Yeah. Yeah. We all have it.
Yeah, my mind just
Yeah.
exploded a little bit. Okay, I have some Empress questions for you. We're all
Okay.
about the Empress energy here on Embody Your Empress and stepping into that light of ourselves. So I would love to know, how do you embody your Empress?
Yeah. I go to the beach every day, no matter what, rain or shine, and I sit there on it.
Wow,
Yeah.
and it
And
gets
that
cold here.
really, it doesn't matter. Like there is
Beautiful.
something, I mean, like living there in Australia, you've got it's like there is something so magical when you look out at the horizon and just listen to the waves. And the ocean has such a transformative nature, I'll just say, has a transformative power.
Mm.
Yeah.
The ocean is so healing, So
Hmm.
healing. I say it was so cold. I grew up in New Zealand, so I grew up in a very cold climate, and I lived
Uh-huh.
5 minutes from the beach. And whenever I felt dysregulated, not knowing the term at the time, like I would take myself down there and just sit on the beach. It was beautiful. Okay, next question. How does
Yeah.
your Empress energy feel for you and your body?
It's calm, soothing.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
It, I think that's the only way that I can describe it. It's like a warm blanket. You know, those really soft, like woolly. Yeah, that. Yes, like that. Like,
It's
yeah,
like,
that's it.
I can feel it. I can feel
Yeah,
it.
that's it.
It's beautiful. Lovely. And what are your parting words of wisdom for inspiring your nation?
Yeah. I think just take time. There's
Mm,
nothing worth rushing. Like there's nothing that urgent unless you're of
mm,
course going to the ER or something. But like there's
yeah,
there's there's nothing to rush. There are no decisions that need to be made right now. Um, give yourself time, slow down,
mm,
enjoy it. Like we only have this one life, this one body. So take care of it.
mm.
Yeah.
So beautiful. So beautiful. Thank you, Lane. It's a lovely note to end on. Like the calm has just like
Yeah.
fully entered the building. It's fantastic. Beautiful. What are the best
Yeah.
ways that people can reach out and connect with you from now?
Sure. Everything is on lanekennedy.com. I do have the Calm Resilience System, which is an online course that anyone can sign up. It's on demand. Uh, and then I also have a Substack, but everything is on lanekennedy.com just to follow along my journey. And I have meditations on there and everything else.
Amazing. So head there, and that will lead you in the
Yeah,
paths that they can take to connect with you. That's beautiful. And we'll pop that in the show description to make it an
perfect.
easy click link for everyone. And thank you for sharing your knowledge and your wisdom today, Lane. You really have opened up my perspectives and given me something to think about. I feel like I'm going to go and journal after this
Oh,
and just
good.
put down some of my thoughts. So thank you so much. This is what this
Perfect.
conversation is all about.
So grateful. Thanks for having me, Sarah.
Thank you.